Dan and Corey here, welcoming you into Libservative.
The great fundamental issue now before our people. We, the people, cannot turn back.
Yeah, welcome in to another rousing rendition of Libservative, intellectual idiots fostering political and cultural literacy, and the world's smartest internet show. Bell the Bodysnatcher on the ones and twos. He, as always, is Corey Walsh.
And he's Dan Griffin.
What a week, man. Bubba back in the news. Happy to hear from him.
Bubba.
A little bit. We got the
technically,
war.
we actually haven't heard from Bubba.
We have not.
And
we probably won't.
And it kind of pisses me off a little bit, because Dan, how long do you think it would take if you were subpoenaed by the U.S. House of Reps or like the Senate? How long do you think it would take if you were subpoenaed and you didn't show up before the feds were kicking in your door?
If it were me?
Yeah.
A matter of hours.
Yeah. Well, Bill and Hillary have been subpoenaed and they're kind of doing a no-show and they haven't said nothing and they're not showing up, Kind of what Steve Bannon did, but the Dems went after him.
Yeah. Well, Bill Clinton, a lot of power. A lot of power in that dick.
Old Bubba.
A lot of power in that schwanz of his. We have Trump versus Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene is not going well for Donald Trump right now. It was looking like it might be okay for a minute. It's not going well. We have Sarah Hurwitz talking in front of the Jewish Federation, mentioning that Holocaust education has quote unquote backfired. So we'll get into that. That's pretty much that's pretty interesting stuff. We have mayhem in Dearborn, Michigan. Now this is near and dear to my Corey and Bell's hearts because we've mentioned on the show before. We're like a 20-minute drive from downtown Dearborn, Michigan, the place where there apparently is just rampant with Sharia law.
What's so funny about the word Sharia is like it just means like the law of like it's like when you say Sharia law, you're basically saying like law.
I actually made a joke with one of my Muslim buddies from Dearborn, whose cousin is an attorney, and we said you need to open up your own law firm when you have the money to do so, and just call it Sharia law because that would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, Sharia is the system of Islamic moral and legal guidance based on the teachings of the Quran and the traditions of the Prophet. Prescribing both religious and secular duties, it has generally been supplemented by legislation adapted to the condition of the day, though the manner in which it should be applied in modern states is a subject of dispute between Muslim traditionalists and reformists. So it's basically a law, just law. And so when everyone's like, it's Sharia law, it's law. Like, I don't know.
We'll get into it.
Which is something I just learned recently as well, so I'm not trying to sound like some crazy intellectual out there, because
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. And the return of Epstein continues like a wonderful series of sequels that we will also get into as well. But I did want to start here, Corey. I don't think we talked about this pre-show, so I'm going to surprise you with this one a little bit. Did you know that Arabic numerals are now back trending on X again today? Did you see this?
Oh my God. Fucking Arabic numerals. They're indoctrinating our children, Dan.
Yeah.
They didn't ask
Absolutely.
me for permission for my kid's school if they could teach him Arabic numerals.
Here's why it's great. Because it is honestly... It is, yeah. Well, there's a lot of that. It is honestly...
What's next? The hydrogen monoxide in the water?
It's a great, that's water. It's a wonder. It's just a wonderful engagement. It's one of the best engagement baits that I've seen on X in quite some time because it started with a poly market poll from a couple of days ago on November 17th. It stated that a majority of people want Arabic numerals banned from being taught in New York City schools. Now, it turned out to be a satirical post. Of course. It's a satirical post. No such poll actually exists. But it didn't stop morons from pointing out the obvious and calling out right-wingers as idiots for supposedly not knowing what Arabic numerals are. And people are absolutely just feeding right into the joke. So they're actually pretending to be offended by the fact that Arabic numerals would actually be taught in American schools. So it's an unbelievably brilliant piece of engagement bait by Polymarket. They nailed it. It's my favorite kind of engagement bait. It's the kind where you get people to call others morons for not knowing something obvious. And then those are the people that just that don't get the joke is actually on them. You see what I'm saying? How it all kind of flips on its head. Like, this was designed to get normie liberals to be like, man, Americans are fucking dumb. But everybody else actually already gets the joke. So the joke is actually on you.
For exposing yourself to thinking you're smarter than other people.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was a wonderful piece of engagement bait. It's still going on right now. Brian Krassenstein posted it, and like you could just tell, like every ratioed comment after his was
like if it's on the internet and it's too good to be true, it probably is. Okay.
Yes, everybody knows that Arabic numerals are just numbers. Everybody knows that.
Right. It is a 2012. Like that joke used to fuck, but it's just overplayed. It's like a whoopee cushion.
It's been done 75 times. Those damn Arabic numerals. Anyway, brings us to the return of Epstein, the story that just keeps on giving. Bell, you got the video, because I think Alex Jones summed this up best back in 2018.
It's crazy that this video was 7 years
back
old.
when he's I forgot back when he was talking about Syria. Alex Jones summed this whole thing up just perfectly. The situation with Trump and Bubba. Go ahead, Bell. Go ahead and roll that beautiful footage.
There's no video of President Trump sucking a ding dong. And so what if there was? That's a lot better than World War III, Owen. I never sucked any ding dongs. I'll tell you, if they were going to blackmail me to start World War III about one, I'd say, hey, I sucked a golf ball through a freaking garden hose.
Didn't you already tell Der Spiegel that?
Now, the son of a bitch walked in there in my own office when I'd splattered stuff on myself when I was changing shirts. He goes, oh, that's a good shot. Let's get your shirts. And then he goes, I go, hey, have some of this chicken and sausage. So technically, I said, Jones offered me his sausage. Yeah, give me a break, you son of a bitch. I like women, not men. And if I like men, I'd be proud of it. I'd have a lot of them. But I ain't ever been in bed with no man. I've been in bed with probably 300 women. And you sons of bitches sit there and you play these games, and I'm sick of it. So
dude, that sounds like someone that was gay.
Daddy, you're my daddy.
Oh yeah, dude, I'd be licking
very
dick.
Successful, very rich.
I heard that phrase today.
I think,
Have you ever heard the term bitch licker?
No.
It's probably derogatory. I think it's like I guess it wouldn't be because you could be lesbian or a straight male, and when you're going down on a girl, you're a ditch licker, brother.
You're gay.
Dude, I heard that, and it was like, and it was that one fucking guy. He's such a douche. What's his name? He's the one that like tries to be super manly. It's Andrew something, not Tate. But it's like Andrew something, and he got fucking owned by this chick because he was acting like he was a man, and they handed him a jar to open, and he couldn't open it. And then he was calling this girl who was a lesbian on. He was in a conversation with her.
Seriously overweight.
And he was like trying to like preach about saying that she's too stupid to get it, but he was about traditional marriage with one man and one woman and this and that. And she's like, and she fucking aired his dirty laundry. It was like, your wife has 3 baby daddies. And so he went off. He's like, oh, listen to you. And he started calling her like a dyke and shit. And I'm watching this like, holy shit, dude. She really, really don't bring my wife into this.
Triggered him.
You insulted my intelligence. Like, so like she thought it was game on. And he called her a ditch licker. And it's like,
is that a derogatory term for a lesbian? I don't know.
I'm assuming it just means eating like pussy. But like I heard that and I'm like, oh, that's actually kind of a funny derogatory statement. And then underneath it was like some guy like trying to be like I would never call a lesbian that, obviously, right? But then someone's like, but some guy in the comment was like, on a real note, guys, when you're doing locker room talk or you're just talking with your friends, have you ever used the term ditch licker? Like, get out of here, dude. You know, first off, he was like, it was a guy that said that in the comments, and
that's like one of those. That's one of those where you respond. And you go, I hope she sees this, bro.
No, I respond. Honestly, no, but it's definitely getting added to the vernacular. Like,
that sums up the whole Bubba situation.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I went off on a little tangent.
You're good. I don't really take a whole lot of credence in the Bubba situation. I think it's just a funny joke at this point, right? I don't think we're ever going to get any evidence that Donald Trump went down on Bill Clinton. Although I hope he did. I mean, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's like I don't care.
It did get me thinking about something philosophical. Yeah, I agree. It did get me thinking about something philosophical, though. Like, whose lips do you think have been closer to Bill Clinton's schlong, Donald Trump's or Hillary Clinton's? Ooh. Because I think the answer might really be Donald Trump's. I mean, it is a bold move to assume that Hillary Clinton performed fellatio on Bill.
Bell, see if you could find it. There is a picture, and it might even be a video of Trump. Grab it.
Yeah, right, no, I'm just kidding.
The biggest load that we've seen.
I think
you guys
honestly,
are ruining my Google search history. I just want you to know this.
That's totally fine. We don't care.
Fuck yourself.
If the FBI comes, they're going for Bell first.
The FBI is going to come, and then they're going to go grab Bell.
Yep. That's right.
We got his search history looking like a goddamn...
The biggest load that we've seen.
Dirtier than Dearborn, according to Jake Lang or whatever.
I never sucked any ding-dongs.
So, Mike Johnson tried to pull the
You sure about that?
Yeah, I'm not. Mike Johnson tried to pull the biggest bullshit move. Honestly, not the worst political move, but when you realize what it actually is, it's just a scumbag move. Yesterday, as they're getting ready to do the vote on bringing out all of the Epstein stuff, Mike Johnson wants to come out and try to push for unanimous consent in the House on releasing the Epstein stuff. And if you understand what he's doing here, you kind of understand why that's important. Because if you have unanimous consent, you're not required to vote on it. And Democrats, and I don't often give Democrats credit, but I will give them credit on this one, even if it's for dumb political purposes. Sometimes those things can result in something good, even if they're not for the right intentions. Democrats said, no, fuck that. We're voting on this because they want the vote on the record. The American people want the vote on the record. And Mike Johnson decided to come out and, whoa, why wouldn't they go for unanimous consent? What are the Democrats trying to hide? It's like they're trying to hide the same shit you're hiding. We all know you're in this together. We all know to the extent that there are names and that there was nefarious activity with Jeffrey Epstein, whoever it is, whatever it is, however bad it is or not bad it is. There are people on each side of the aisle that are power brokers.
Yeah, which they have done unanimous consent before, but it does definitely just hides who voted for it. Like one example I found was the Pandemic and All Hazards Preparedness Reauthorization Act in 2013. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a way of hiding who voted for what. That's all it is. And it's just like, it actually kind of says a little bit more about you, Mike Johnson.
Which
like, why do you want to hide the vote?
Work when we had a pandemic. The Pandemic and All Hazards Preparedness Reauthorization Act was a federal law that strengthens the country's ability to prepare for, respond to, and recover from public health emergencies. We fucked up with a common cold. I mean, obviously, like, I'm not downplaying it, right? It's the caveat you have to give. It was a common cold of a different strain, because I think even the common cold has the word COVID in it. But like, this COVID was a different.
One of them does. There's rhinovirus. There's COVID flu or cold viruses. Yeah.
But the COVID that did make it to the human population at a very accelerated pace was one that no one was used to. So it did take out a lot of people. Like, people did die. But this fucking unanimous consent bill was supposed to help prepare for the funds went to emergency surge capacity, trauma system readiness, communication systems between hospitals and agencies. We had bodies and body bags just in fucking travel trailers behind hospitals. It was supposed to be for vaccines, antivirals, diagnostics, medical equipment.
Still do.
The hospitals were at 80% fucking capacity before and after COVID, and during it hit 90, and they're like, oh yeah, we can't fucking do this. Like, what the fuck? I'm learning about this on the air right now as I'm looking at this, and like,
we should stop.
Enhanced public health coordination with Homeland Security, FEMA, Department of Defense, HHS. But it was definitely used for the government to be able to shut people down and do stuff like that, because they used all the legal aspects of it in COVID-19. So
sure, they did. Imagine that.
Interesting. So that's one other example of unanimous consent that Mike Johnson tried to. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there.
No, you're good, because it matters, because it's whenever it is something that benefits or has the potential to harm power brokers, regardless of party. That's when the unanimous consent gets pushed for. You think if Nancy Pelosi were Speaker of the House and we had a Democratic president in right now that were, with Republicans trying to get the Epstein files released, you don't think she would have pushed for the same goddamn thing? Of course she would have. It's nonsense. It's all nonsense. So what does Mike Johnson want to come out and say? The thing you would expect, that the Epstein situation right now is just a political attack on Trump. And it's like, yeah, of course it is. Of course it's a political attack on Trump. It is a chance for the Democrats to use something to take down Donald Trump, the thing that they've been trying to do forever. However, it can also be the other thing too.
Yeah, no, that's just it, right? Like,
walk and chew gum at the same time is really, really fucking hard for politicians in Washington. Matt Taibbi put out a great piece earlier today talking about how this Epstein situation right now is starting to smell a lot like Russiagate in certain aspects. And I think he's right. Democrats are using this as a political attack on Donald Trump. But Republicans
would be out of it. Everyone is creating an idea of what they want it to be so bad.
Yeah. That's why it smells like Russiagate.
Even though the Bubba thing, which is hilarious. It's
hilarious.
Really funny.
I never sucked any ding-dongs.
The chance of it being true is still like 50-50. I mean, everything really comes down to 50-50, right? But I mean, like, it's still not like deadlocked. Bubba could mean anybody. Literally anybody.
And it could also be goofy locker room talk and emails, kind of bullshit. Like,
right. They were fucking boomers. They texted through email chains.
But Taibbi pointed to like this sort of if true narrative that kind of really took over during Russiagate. And Matt, being such a well-respected journalist that we respect very much, his point is like the sort of if true stories are ones that journalists are kind of taught to avoid. Like, you don't want to do like that sort of if true narrative when you're a fact-seeking journalist.
Right.
Because what it does is exactly what Russiagate did. Because there was a lot of that, like, if true, President Donald Trump's in big fucking trouble. But, like, the public, when they see, they miss the whole if true part right? If they already have an outcome in their brain that they want, they don't see the if true part.
The internet's doing enough of it on its own. They don't need to
Oh, yeah.
try to add to it. They're going to wait. Like someone mentioned that to me earlier, actually, because, you know, everyone's filtering through these and it's there's thousands of people like taking emails and some of them are probably out of context to spin their narrative and stuff. And this guy, he goes, I'm surprised we haven't seen any journalists coming out about this. And I said, none of the credible ones anyways. I'm like, they're like, a credible journalist isn't just going to create a whole narrative around one email. They're going to look at those names in those emails. They're going to look at the time that those emails were sent. Okay, where was this person? And try to see what events these people were at that time. Like they try to paint the whole picture and like, you know, like almost like a detective.
Peekaboo.
Crime scene, and then try to get interviews with these people. Find out who that they're close, people who they're close with. Try to get interviews with them. All the good journalists right now aren't going to post anything about this. They're doing the fact finding.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to do the if true. Leave that to the fucking National Enquirer and all the tabloids.
Right.
Like, that's like, you know.
I will say the tabloids had it right all the way back in the 80s and 90s because that's still what people want. It's so funny. Like, you remember when you were a kid? Maybe you didn't have this, but when I was a kid,
World News.
I'd go to the grocery store with my mom, right? And you'd see the tabloids lined up on the end caps right by the registers, right? And like you'd read all the headlines, like even as a kid, right? Or I would. And I just remember like I remember one specific moment, like I don't even remember what the headline was, but I had like said something to my mom about it, and she looks at me and she goes something to the effect of like that's tabloid bullshit. There's nothing true about any of that stuff. Don't pay attention to any of that. And then like now here I am at fucking 37 years old, and that's all people pay attention to. It's nothing but tabloid bullshit. That's all anybody wants. Like, why is TMZ? First of all, TMZ does such a wonderful job.
They actually do a pretty good job because they have the infrastructure,
and they also pay. Like that's that's what tabloids have always done. They pay for sources. They pay for these things as to where the credible.
They bankroll themselves with the celebrity gossip that everybody loves, and then they
the credible
politics.
The credible stuff they don't pay. They don't pay for interviews.
Again, any article you read about anything, if it's anything that seems like pretty like important, fact check it. Find another article that talks about it. Maybe find one that's the opposite side of the spectrum. Make sure the story is fucking true, right? And then
not a sponsor, but Ground News is a place to go to.
Ground News, Straight Arrow News is another good one. Ad Fontes, FADFONTES. I don't know if they say it fancy or not, but that's one that you
none of which are sponsors for the show.
None of them are sponsors, but it's like you'd be amazed that if you just read about topics from either side of from both sides of the spectrum and have a grasp of where their bias is and stuff like that, and when you read stuff like how you're just not.
It takes a little work, but you can decipher it. It's decipherable. So let's take a look at the timeline here when it comes to the release of all of the Epstein stuff, right? So first you had
hold on, this is a little bit of breaking news. Trump did just sign the Epstein bill.
He did? Okay, no surprise. No surprise.
Just throwing that up.
No, that's good. Because
the wrong one again.
I don't know why this is so hard for you.
Every time, man.
Let's take a look at the timeline here. So Trump, not necessarily Trump himself, but a lot of the folks that were angling for spots in his cabinet during the election were just hammering home, we're going to uncover it. We're going to uncover everything about Epstein on the campaign trail. A little bit from Trump, but more from the people that were angling from cabinet spots, right? So that's how this whole thing started. Then Trump gets into office, brings in his cabinet, and the crackerjack AG that is Pam Bondi, and yes, I say that facetiously, gives a binder to all of the pro-MAGA influencers that supposedly contain the first drops of the Epstein files, when it really turns out that it was just a coloring book that Tim Pool still sometimes uses to reduce the stress of trying to fearmonger his audience about an impending civil war. He's getting better. I will say this. He's staying inside the lines from what I hear. Good for Tim. Next on the list. Epstein was trafficking young girls is what we found out. But he wasn't trafficking them to anyone. Just taking them for a joyride to the island against their will for no fucking reason. Then we have, just a few weeks ago, it moved on. Now it's a Democratic hoax. To Trump's credit, that line has worked a few times in the past, and even for good reason. But you can only go back to that well so many times when you're dealing with people that, you know, haven't had like the red food dye from their MAGA hats seep into their brains. Then you have just a couple of days ago.
40 dye, Dan?
It must be. Bobby should look into that. Just a couple of days ago, we moved on to Congress almost unanimously deciding to release the Epstein disclosures. And now, as Bell's about to play in this next video of Pam Bondi, we have a new investigation that will allow Pam Bondi essentially to redact whatever the hell she wants from anything that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and roll that, Bell.
A new investigation by the Southern District of New York U.S. Attorney prevent the department from releasing all of the remaining files.
So we have released over 33,000 Epstein documents to the Hill, and we'll continue to follow the law and to have maximum transparency. Also, we will always encourage all victims to come forward.
The next steps, Madam Attorney General, for the DOJ regarding what we assume President Trump will sign into the law with the Epstein files. Is this going to be on the Justice Department website? What are you doing here over the next 30 days, as we understand it?
We will continue to follow the law with maximum transparency while protecting victims.
When you say follow the law, Madam Attorney General, do you mean that you will provide all the files by 30 days?
We will follow the law. The law passed both chambers last evening. It has not yet been signed, but we will continue to follow the law, again, while protecting victims, but also providing maximum transparency.
Madam Attorney General, the DOJ statement earlier this year saying that the files would not release mentioned the fact that the review of the documents and the evidence did not suggest that any additional investigation of third parties was warranted. What changed since then that you launched this investigation?
Information that has come for information. There's information new information, additional information. And again, we will continue to follow the law, to investigate any leads. If there are any victims, we encourage all victims to come forward. And we will continue to provide maximum transparency under the law.
Madam General. On Ryan Wedding, you mentioned,
Madam Attorney General, the issue with the new information that you just indicated, is the department seeking information perhaps from the Epstein estate, because Mr. Blanche did not have that information when he interviewed Ghislaine Maxwell? What new information, and would you limit the new investigation to just those named persons that the president talked about, or is this a broad, open-ended investigation?
I would refer to the Deputy Attorney General's post that he put out on X, and we're not going to say anything else on that because now it is a pending investigation in the Southern District of New York.
How convenient. Now it is yeah.
Why is it still going?
It's a long one. Now it's a pending investigation. How convenient, Madam Attorney General.
I got the too long didn't read version of that of her like stumbling over her words, responding to those questions.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh man, I don't know. I just it's so, it is, honest to God, it is so predictable, because when you had texted last night, I don't remember what the hell I was doing, but you had texted me what the final vote was in the House and how you had one dissenting vote. I don't even remember what the guy's name was that did dissent. I didn't think it was important. I don't really care, even though he's going to be the guy that somehow is scapegoated into being whatever problematic thing you think he's, whatever problematic person you think he is. When I saw that you had one dissenting vote in the House, I went, something reeks. Something stinks. And I remember we were talking about this last week when Tim Burchett tried to get a new bill across the finish line to have a vote last week. And the committee went, yeah, we're not going to do that. And I went, and then Bell had announced that the vote was going to take place Tuesday, which would have been yesterday. And I went, oh, so they got like 6 days to figure out how they're going to fuckerize this thing to make it so that nothing actually has to get released. And here we are. This shit is so predictable. It is so predictable. And here's the thing about it. I'm not one of these people. I don't think you are, Corey. I don't think Bell is either. I don't think most Americans really are. As much as the two parties want to utilize this thing as a weapon whenever they have an opportunity to do so, nobody really gives a shit who's in it. I mean, we do to the extent of, like, they need to be held accountable. But, like, I'm not rooting for Donald Trump to be in this thing to get in trouble. I'm not rooting for Bill Clinton to be in this thing and get in trouble for it. I'm not rooting for any specific outcome, for any specific...
Any sane human being who doesn't have TDS, like, hopes that your president wasn't diddling kids. It's kind of looking like he might have.
Because they keep doing this thing where it's like there's nothing to see here. There's nothing to see here. It's like, if there's nothing to see here, then let us fucking see it. I don't understand why that's such a weird thing to say. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
Right. Like, good. Oh, Clinton's in it? Oh, no. Take him out.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to kick you out, Bell. There you go.
Oh, Tom Hanks? That's shitty. Peace. Bill
Shut
Gates?
up, bitch!
You know, like,
Really,
all the
the
people.
right.
Fuck all of them.
What about the people who are all like, it doesn't matter, you shouldn't even be worrying about it at all? It's like, dude, what?
But here's the thing, and this is why, like, the conspiracy theory shit always comes back into play, right? Because look at the people that are saying that you shouldn't be worrying about it. It's the Laura Loomers of the universe. It's the Zionist Israel First crowd that is talking about this. And we talked about this last week. The part that is honestly more important, do I want to know who's in it? Yes. Do I want to know if we have this weird cabal of pedophiles running our government and running our world? Yeah, I want to know that. And if it's not the case, I want to know that too. Mm-hmm. But the more important thing here is what we talked about last week in the 4 articles that were put out by Ryan Grimm connecting Jeffrey Epstein to Israeli intelligence. Why is it that you have everyone who's like the weird Israel First crowd, including Donald Trump himself? They're the ones that are like, there's nothing to see here. And then you wonder why you have, like, the Nick Fuenteses of the world spewing what is probably garbage.
Yeah, no. Probably.
Am I crazy?
I guess a little bit.
Shut up, bitch!
That's not nice.
It seems like it was even more than even just a fucking Mossad, dude. He was talking, like, he was like helping broker deals in Saudi Arabia and the Middle East. He was all up in America shit. He was all over the place, man. He had his fingers in everything.
Arresting me for what? I'm not allowed to stand up for myself? I thought this was America. Huh? Isn't this America? I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
It is America.
I don't know. I don't really know if I have anything else to add.
No.
Other than just
I got a video.
The distraction that's involved with it. Go ahead.
It was one of the TikToks I was going to share, but since we're on the topic of him being a part of Epstein being a part of Mossad and stuff like that, this stuff I'm finding more and more fascinating too. This guy at work, he keeps mentioning it, and it's making me more and more intrigued. This fucking guy, Epstein, was essentially like Game of Thrones. Any Game of Thrones fans out there? You remember Littlefinger?
Never watched it.
Okay, so there's this guy named Littlefinger in fucking Game of Thrones, and he wasn't ever like a person of power. He just ran some brothels, which the simile is the
Peekaboo.
Is astounding. But he basically had the ear of like every powerful person, and he was blackmailing people, and he was doing all sorts of shit like that. And it seems like that Epstein was essentially like the little finger in the real world. So Bell, there's one of the links, Epstein Rise to Power. Go ahead and cue that up. Because his whole life seems like a fucking like I don't know, like a movie.
Daddy, you're my daddy.
That might be actual audio.
That might actually be actual audio of Trump talking to Bubba.
Or Epstein himself. Who knows?
You've done a hell of a lousy job.
We could have waited. No, Bell's got it.
There it is.
Bell's got it. I think we're getting astroturfed talking about this stuff.
You think so? Go ahead and play that.
Before we continue to analyze the emails, I'm seeing some reoccurring questions and points of confusion of how Jeffrey even came to power and where he came from. So I'm going to speed run us through so you have the context before we continue. So we start with his birth. He was born in Brooklyn, New York, Coney Island, which was a huge hub for Jewish immigrants at the time. They did not come from wealth. His parents worked in the NYC school system. There is no evidence that his family had any sort of like intelligence ties. His rise doesn't really happen until after high school. As you see, the next major milestone in his life is in 1974 when he gets hired at the Dalton School as a teacher. Epstein dropped out of both Cooper Union and NYU. So he's 20 years old, no degree, nothing to show for himself experience-wise, and suddenly he gets hired as a math and physics teacher at the Dalton School, which is an elite private school in Manhattan. And Dalton traditionally hires Ivy League credentialed teachers. And Epstein, like I said, was 20 and wildly unqualified. It made absolutely no sense. Now, the headmaster at the time who hired Epstein is Donald Barr. This is important. He
Bill
is
Barr's
a former
dad.
OSS, which was the precursor to the CIA, deeply tied to intelligence, father of William Barr, or Bill Barr, who became Trump's attorney general and oversaw Epstein's death investigation. It came full circle with that family. Very interesting. They put him on the map, and then they were there for his end. This is his first intelligence-adjacent placement in his life, and during this season, he charms wealthy families and builds a Rolodex of billionaire parents by tutoring their kids. Because although he dropped out of school and didn't have a degree, he was extremely smart. When he was in school, he jumped 2 grades because of how good he was in mathematics. He had all the qualities you would need to succeed, and he used those to charm wealthy families and build a Rolodex of billionaire parents. His next major milestone was leaving his Dalton school teaching job and joining Wall Street at Bear Stearns. Again, another jump with zero experience that made absolutely no sense how he even got in the door. So, Alan Ace Greenberg was the CEO of the firm at the time, and he was a parent of a Dalton student whom Epstein tutored and was friends with. So this is how he got in the door. Alan Greenberg is a Russian Jewish immigrant, a proud Zionist, huge philanthropist for Israel, large donations, very interesting. So he starts in an assistant trader role. He's rapidly promoted despite no degree or experience. And then he joins a special products division handling complex financial instruments in I think less than 3 years, 4 years. Again, like an unheard of track. But this is where his intelligence usefulness becomes visible. He becomes a fixer, arranger for pretty decently wealthy clientele that he's meeting through this firm. He starts moving money for people, solving problems for elites. This is where he starts taking those baby steps to starting to collect some secrets, intel. Next major milestone is in 1981 when he strikes out on his own. He quit Bear Stearns suddenly ahead of a SEC insider trading investigation. Convenient.
Oh, the timing is impeccable.
He claims to start his own financial consulting firm called IAG. Investigations have found that that company was just a front. There was no client records, no SEC filings, no company infrastructure, no verifiable revenue. IAG was primarily a cover. His main op at that time, he becomes a fixer for the ultra wealthy. He takes it up a notch. Financial, logistical, personal, everything you can think of. This becomes the pre-Les Wexner grooming period because he starts to prove his abilities. So the next major milestone is his Wexner era, 1980s to the 1990s. This is where Epstein becomes Epstein. So Wexner, if you don't know, is a billionaire and the founder of Victoria's Secrets. He's highly connected in Israeli business and political spheres. He takes immediate, unusual interest in Epstein. Again, another leap that makes no sense unless he's being placed in these places. They meet through a network of wealthy Jewish philanthropists, AIPAC, Birthright, Mossad adjacent connections. Wexner is a huge AIPAC Birthright donator. In less than a year of them connecting, Wexner signs over power of attorney to Epstein. Epstein becomes a manager of all Wexner wealth and properties. Epstein moves into Wexner's mansion that later becomes Epstein's Manhattan headquarters because Wexner just gives him the mansion, which is worth like $90 million. Inexplicable in normal terms, but if you're looking at it through the right lens, makes sense. So this is really where he gets his first like real money. This is also where the sexual blackmail begins. Victoria's Secret had a pipeline right for someone like Epstein to exploit of young aspiring models. So Epstein used that to recruit teens. Multiple public testimonies emerged that Epstein posed as a Victoria's Secret model scout. This period gives Epstein his first real access and taste of sexual blackmail. And then his biggest milestone to date is the Maxwells enter his orbit. So Robert Maxwell was a triple agent for KGB, Mossad, and MI6. Again, all of this is public. So he's introduced to Robert Maxwell and then gets introduced to his daughter, Ghislaine Maxwell. And what Ghislaine brings Epstein is Israeli elite, intelligence adjacent individuals, diplomatic circles, European aristocracy, British political circles. And after Maxwell dies in 1991, suspiciously, just like a year after they meet, the theory was he was like a burned agent at that point. He was facing a lot of problems with all of these intersecting intelligence agencies.
He fell off of his yacht.
Epstein was now like the rising star.
Convenient.
So after Maxwell dies, Epstein's power, he just skyrockets into power. This is where Epstein becomes a multi-agency international asset, essentially taking over Robert Maxwell's position. The sexual blackmail turns into leverage, favors, compromise, intelligence currency. This is the era of his Lolita Express flights, his friends list, and his global network forms. Next major milestone, 1990s to 2019. Epstein's network links to CIA adjacent US elites, political, academic, financial, Mossad, connected individuals via the Maxwell pipeline and figures like Eid Barak, the ex-prime minister of Israel, British intelligence ecosystem through the Maxwells and aristocracy, princes, etc. And then Saudi, UAE, and global diplomatic circles start to form, alongside Hollywood, tech, and finance. Epstein's arrest in 2008, next milestone. Epstein gets arrested in Florida. The case is derailed. A secret non-prosecution agreement is struck. The DOJ deal is so abnormal that multiple prosecutors later said intelligence was involved, no question about it. We have Alex Acosta on record saying he was told Epstein belonged to intelligence, so leave it alone. This is confirmation that he was protected by someone. Then we have post-2008 arrest. Instead of shrinking, Epstein's network grows. He travels internationally, meets world leaders, funds science and tech labs, connects with Israeli ex-prime minister Barak,
Hakeem Jeffries.
blackmail pipeline. This suggests continued usefulness to multiple agencies. Then the final chapter of his life that we're aware of anyways, his arrest, his final arrest, death, cover-up in 2019. So he's arrested again. He dies in custody under impossible circumstances. The cameras fail suspiciously. The guards vanish or sleep. They release a edited video that has the coding that shows it was edited. William Barr, the son of Epstein's first employer at Dalton School, Trump's attorney general, oversees the investigation into his death. The files are sealed, the network is protected, and here we are in 2025.
That was long as fuck.
So I know it was long, but it goes into detail, and like you can like fact check all that shit.
No, it's all right. It's all accurate.
And
there might even been a couple things she missed, to be honest.
Right. But Epstein was in fucking everything.
Yeah. I mean, nobody ever said he was dumb.
And yeah, it's insane. That I think that like everyone's fixated on Trump being in there. Yeah, obviously because he's the president.
Or Clinton. It depends what side you sit on.
Right.
Or the Clintons.
It's funny. They're like, well, why are they going after Trump? And it's like, well, it's because he's the sitting president. Like, it's not hard to put two and two together. But he's fucking. I think Trump is just the surface, man. Like, we're talking a lot of crazy shit that we might see blow up here. Hopefully.
Nah, nothing to see here. We're not going to see anything blow up here.
Do you think that the reason that they maybe didn't want the files to get out, or Trump didn't, because he maybe was an asset at one point in time?
Who, Epstein?
No.
Oh, Trump?
Yep.
Like an informant?
Well, the defense.
Yeah.
The defense.
Like he's a rat?
Oh no. The defense of the Trump crowd on this is that, he's the one who, he was arrested under his watch and all of his stuff. And it's like that's all well and good. Like I said, I don't give a shit if Trump is implicated in this or not. I really don't. I don't care who's in it.
Right.
I don't care who's implicated. But when you have a world at this point that is becoming less and less trustworthy of its power, or I should say trusting of its power brokers, and you have what continues to look like just every single page that can be turned to shove this thing under the rug, and then you go like what Michael Tracy keeps doing. And I think Michael Tracy has a lot of great points. I really do. Like I do think that there are people that are making assumptions that maybe aren't fair. I agree with him on that part. But you have people like Michael Tracy and others that are sitting there talking about, like, in not so many words, why are we so stuck on this? It's like, because it's not weird to you that we can't know exactly what's going on here. And I don't want to shit on Michael Tracy. I actually like Michael Tracy a lot as a journalist, and I think he brings up a lot of good points. He was kind of the first one that came out and talked about how, Virginia Giuffre is not really a very trustworthy witness in all this. And he points out all the reasons why, and he turned out to be basically correct on that. So I get it, but like, I'm sorry, I sit on the other side of the fence when it comes to just wanting to know what happened, and I don't think we ever will. I really don't.
I don't think we ever will either, and that's something I've called since this shit started popping off. I said we're never gonna see what's truly in there.
At least not while people are still alive. Maybe we'll know after people are dead.
No, it's not even that. It's like the JFK papers. I mean, the JFK papers were released, the Martin Luther King papers were released. What do you actually know?
Right. How much was taken out? Like, it's just
That's all redacted. That's what
I
they're
have
doing right now.
such a low amount of trust for our institutions that I don't think we're ever going to see fully anything.
And you know what? The lack of trust in our institutions.
That makes sense, and they're going to write it off. It's like, well, yeah, it's incomplete and it's broken. Like, oh, we didn't get that one email between those two, and it's just like, give me a break, you know, like.
And to add to that, Corey, I think the lack of trust in our institutions might make the Epstein situation more bloated than maybe it actually is. And I think that's some of the point that Michael Tracy tries to make. I think there is an aspect to this where I think people might actually be looking for stuff that's not there. I think there's a huge component of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's that like
and
that conspiracy thinking push of like, yeah.
Well, that's the very institutions that we're talking about. Like they're leaving everything just murky and opaque, and people are just leaving room for people to connect their own dots. And then the constant push, like people are like, oh, well, the Democrats had it for 4 years and they didn't do nothing. But it's like no one's really asking, like, why didn't they do anything? What else is in there? Right? Like, why didn't the Democrats for 4 years actually do this if they like? And then why is Trump still like up until like the weird reversal, like a weird reversal and then a unanimous vote on the files all of a sudden after he was like out there freaking out and trying to call Nancy Mace and Lauren Boebert to try to tell them to not release the files and freaking out and causing a bunch of shit. Immediately tried to go back to the thing of, oh, it's a hoax. And I don't know. It does all feel fishy.
This is a side note. Can we talk about Nancy Mace's rack for just a minute? Because she might be the new big-titted Nancy in Congress. I did not realize
Pelosi is leaving.
Because Nancy Pelosi's gone. I did not realize.
A viewer and then lost a viewer. Lost 2 viewers.
That rack. I don't care. I don't. That rack is hard to miss, and I don't know how I missed it all this time.
I know. I had to send you a picture.
I was like, wow, that is raction. That's outstanding. Yeah.
When I saw her talking on the floor, I was like, oh Jesus, Dan's gonna see this, and then just you're gonna see his
Bell's got the picture. My God. And it's like trying to hide them like a little bit.
Like,
yeah, those
decency, Nancy.
Those aren't phony. I think those are natural too, dude. I don't think there's anything phony about those. I think Nancy might have been recruited by Epstein in a younger time.
And then,
yeah, she that's a corn-fed.
Here comes Nancy.
Peekaboo.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to derail the conversation with Nancy Mace's glorious rack. Raction. Were those the noises that were coming out of me when I was talking about Nancy Mace's rack?
No, just what you. Yeah. Yes.
How do you think this Trump versus Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene thing is going to play out?
I think Massie and Greene survive.
I tend to agree. However, I will say this. I can never politically count out Donald Trump. The amount of times that this man has been down and out from a political perspective, he has already made the greatest political comeback of all time, or at least of my lifetime, at least of probably my parents' and my grandparents' lifetimes. There's one major difference here, though. He ain't running for president again.
Right. No, that's what I was gonna say. Is he's essentially a lame duck president at this point. Like he's lost a huge chunk of his base. He's lost all the minorities that voted for him. They're all gone.
Oh, dude, yeah, the polls on the Latino vote are astounding.
That's all gone. And then the independents that voted for him just because Biden was a corpse, they've checked out. You know, like he did this very big arm welcoming, like fucking giant umbrella type embrace of America. Like, no, come on, I'm a good guy, I'm a nice guy. Project 2025, never heard of it. You know, I'm going to bring inflation down. Oh, I'm going to, he promised all this shit. Wars are going to end on day one. And nothing he really did came to fruition. So anyone who like wasn't like hardcore mega, but just didn't want Harris and they dipped their toes in that Trump water, he's lost them.
Mm-hmm.
And mega's completely shifted, shattered, broken. It's in a million pieces. Like he's out here like calling Marjorie Taylor Greene like one of his biggest sycophants. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like,
yeah.
You know.
And I didn't expect her to respond, and she did. And I thought she responded well. I don't know what kind of world we're living in. I was talking to my buddy about this yesterday. I don't know what kind of world we're living in. I would never have said, I never would have thought I would have said that Marjorie Taylor Greene would be literally ever in like the top 5 of like my favorite Congress people.
He said he did bring inflation down, and sure, but inflation is compounded year after year. Like, oh yeah,
shit's still expensive. Nobody cares. There needs to, nobody cares that it's
7% anymore. It's clipping at 4%, but that 4% this year is still on the 7% last year. And sure, he's bringing it down this year, but it still compounds. Inflation
the number on the number on the price tag is what people actually care about. Nobody really cares about the it's like GDP. First of all, nobody really even knows what GDP is.
No,
it's not even like
this
is not even a reflection of the economy.
It's not a indictment on Trump personally. Someone like to bring inflation down, to bring down like the inflation number, you're talking about like immediately just stop distributing money. You know, you're talking about collapsing the economy to like.
Well, and like, let's not forget about the compounding issue of how idiotic tariffs are. Like, he's made a lot of shitty, horrible economic decisions that we've talked about ad nauseum on this show, and it's kind of getting old a little bit. But I can't remember what I was going to say before that. Before you so rudely interrupted me with Liberty's astute observation.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. We were talking about.
Oh, we were talking about Marjorie Taylor. Oh, I never thought Marjorie Taylor Greene would be in like my top 5 Congress people. And here she sits. She's sitting at number 3, and she is nipping at Rand Paul's heels quickly on my like Mount Rushmore. It goes Massie, Paul, Marjorie Taylor Greene right now, and then honestly in 4th, I actually have a Democrat, and that's Ro Khanna. Outside of those 4, I don't really care about most of these people.
George Santos isn't on your...
Yeah, but he's not in Congress right now. He would be number 1. But he's not in Congress right now.
My favorite politician.
Probably. Yeah, I kind of agree. But yeah, I think the person who needs to worry, honest to God, and I don't feel bad for him because he's the one who put himself in bed with this administration, and I understand why. Trying to gain power, everybody is. And that's J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance has a decision to make. And I don't think he's going to make this decision anytime soon because, he's still got to be vice president under Donald Trump for 3 more years. 3 more years. And I think he's a pretty bright guy. I don't know how he's going to handle this. Because it's going to be if things stay the same,
and he's going to be in the same position Kamala Harris was in with Biden.
That's what I was about to say. But there's a little bit of a caveat to that because there are still 3 years, and a lot can happen politically in 3 years. But if things are similar as we approach an election in 2028 as they are right now, yes, J.D. Vance is going to be in a weirdly similar situation to Kamala Harris.
Right,
and.
You can't
as much as
administration because it was your administration,
right? Yeah. No, and as much as I thought Kamala Harris was the worst candidate in the history of candidates, she also was really put in a tough spot. She was really put in a tough spot
you're
politically.
Basically trying to defend the previous administration, like, hey, vote for us again. Same, you know what I mean? Like, but. How do you come out and go, ooh, yeah, like a lot of this shit sucked? And it's like, well, why didn't you say anything then? That's what
J.D. Vance's.
Why didn't you say anything then?
J.D. Vance's best move right now is just to keep his mouth shut. Just shut up for a little while. Don't say anything. try to avoid public appearances. Like, do what a vice president does and basically just don't exist. Like, that's pretty much what a vice... Like, your job's really easy. Just shut up. Just stay quiet. Go on vacation with Usha. Try to convert her to Christianity, whatever the thing is that you do.
Whatever it is you're so desperately trying to do. Don't be a Dick Cheney.
Just keep your mouth shut. That's all. That's what JD Vance needs to do right now from a political perspective.
If he wants any chance of winning 2028, yeah, but I don't think he will. No, the whole Trump administration has burned all of their capital, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was getting at earlier. And
they burned it so fast. Like, I think we called before the election. I think you and I both had a very similar prediction. Like, this isn't going to go well. And we gave you all the reasons why we didn't vote for him. And most of those things are coming to fruition. I just didn't expect them to come to fruition within a year. You know, I thought it would take a little bit of time, but it was quick.
Expected also.
Yeah, Liberty says Trump's pretty much handed the 2028 election to the Dems. It's like, yeah, that's easy to say. It's easy to say right now.
2028.
But dude, if there's one thing we know about politics in this country, a lot can happen in 3 years. A lot can happen in 3 years.
3 months.
Yeah, clearly, a lot can happen in 1 year. Those are the types of things that are tough to predict. But
I don't see them crawling out.
Yeah, if there was an election in 3 months, 100%.
It's gonna be fucking wild, man. Like, all these states, they went and did all this redistricting and the gerrymandering in like Texas and Utah and stuff. That would, like, the drawing of the lines was like based around the minority vote that they won in 2024. And then Trump completely burned all that capital. They might have just created a bunch of Democratic fucking seats. And then it caused the Democrats to go into a flurry. So then they created more Democratic seats in response to the what now looks like Republican states creating Democratic seats. He's going to be a straight up lame duck president.
Well, he already is that, but
he's going to get impeached again.
Well, for sure. Yeah, if at 2026, if the Dems take control, they're going to find a reason to impeach him. It's not going to be the correct. It's not going to be the correct reason to impeach him. But honestly, I'm glad you brought that up, because as Liberty's not the first person I've heard say that Trump has pretty much handed 2028 to the Dems. Honestly, and what will if the Democrats take back Congress in 2026?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't impeachment help them politically? Because I think it's actually kind of easy to argue that it doesn't, right? They've already done this twice.
Yeah, they'll probably try to go through what is it? Amendment 25. Like, it's not necessarily an impeachment, but it's like making them step down because they're not like up to the task.
Yeah,
sure, the 25th Amendment.
Because they
invoke the 25th, yeah.
But like, what good does that do the Democrats? What good does that actually do them politically? Because politically, it actually makes more sense to have Donald Trump just finish out his term and continue to blow himself up.
That would be a wild card, right? You do that, and then you're forcing the hand of JD Vance to be president. And what if he does an okay job?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a risk. It's a little bit of a risk. He won't, though. But I don't think anybody's capable of doing that job. I'm a cynic in that way.
The Dems base is fully energized. They don't need an impeachment to further energize the crazies. That's fair. I'm sure that.
Yeah, but I don't think Liberty's wrong. But is the Democratic Party smart enough to understand that? We already know both parties are unbelievably out of touch with the American people, and the ones that are in touch are the ones that are being demonized. The Thomas Masseys, the Marjorie Taylor Greens, the Rand Pauls, the Ro Khannas of the world. These are the people that are actually in touch, and these are the ones that are being demonized.
That's true. Very, very true.
Yeah, maybe Sri Tanadar will have something to say.
He's already drafting the next article of impeachment.
Yeah. I think Massie and MTG are winning as of right now. A lot can change. A lot can change in a quick amount of time. You have anything else you want to say about MTG and Thomas Massie? Owning, destroying Donald Trump. Smash that like button.
It's so wild that that like not so much Massie. Massie's never really been like, I think he was trying, like Trump was trying to primary him in his last presidency too. But the heel turn on Marjorie Taylor Greene is pretty fucking wild.
Some WWE shit, right? Like,
yeah. And she is
I love it.
Turning your back on someone who is one of the most vocal people in the House is that's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it plays out.
There's the question of like what is Marjorie Taylor Greene's motive? And I don't know. Maybe it is nefarious.
Senate seat.
Maybe it is nefarious, but I'm the kind of person that like I don't care what your motives are if like the right outcome takes place. It's like when people are always talking about like propaganda. Like this is Russian propaganda, or this is a Russian talking points, or this is a Chinese propaganda. I'm like, yeah, but is it real? Right. Is it the truth? I don't really give a shit if it's propaganda if it's the true thing.
Right. Like oh, this, yeah, exactly. Like when let me think of an example. Like Edward Snowden, right? Edward Snowden released all the shit that showed us that the Patriot Act was real, and now he's in Russia. It's like I don't care that he's in Russia.
Yeah.
It's kind of a
why would you? He's an American hero. Why did he ran into the arms of the Russians? The Russians are the enemy.
It was basically Russia that released this. It's like I don't give a shit.
I don't care who released it. He exposed you fuckers for spying on us. He's a hero in my book. You want to move on to Sarah Hurwitz? Bell's got that video.
Yeah, let's see that. Sarah Hurwitz, she was was it a speechwriter for Obama?
She was she was an Obama speechwriter, and she went in front of the Jewish Federation and basically told it that Holocaust education has backfired. And it's one of those situations of the pro-Israel crowd saying the quiet part out loud. Go ahead, Belle.
I think that since October 7th, but really before then, there have been huge shifts in America on how people think about Jews and Israel. And I think that is especially true of young people. So we are now wrestling with a new, I think, generational divide here. And I think that's particularly true in that social media is now our source of media. And this, it used to be that the media you got in America was American media, and it was pretty mainstream. It generally didn't express extreme anti-Israel views. You had to go to a pretty weird bookstore to find global media and fringe media. But today, we have social media, which is a global medium, right? Its algorithms are shaped by billions of people worldwide who don't really love Jews. And so while in the 1990s, a young person probably wasn't going to find Al Jazeera or someone like Nick Fuentes, today, those media outlets find them. They find them on their phones. It's also this increasingly
this is all written down.
Media, less and less text, more and more videos. So you have TikTok just smashing our young people's brains all day long with video of carnage in Gaza. And this is why so many of us can't have a sane conversation with younger Jews, because anything that we try to say to them, they are hearing it through this wall of carnage. So I want to give data and information and facts and arguments, and they are just seeing in their minds carnage, and I sound obscene. And, I think, unfortunately, the very smart, bet that we made on Holocaust education to serve as anti-Semitism education, in this new media environment, I think that is beginning to break down a little bit. Because, Holocaust education is absolutely essential. But I think it may be confusing some of our young people about anti-Semitism because they learn about big, strong Nazis hurting weak, emaciated Jews. And they think, oh, anti-Semitism is like anti-Black racism, right? Powerful white people against powerless Black people. So when on TikTok all day long they see powerful Israelis hurting weak, skinny Palestinians, it's not surprising that they think, oh, I know, the lesson of the Holocaust is you fight Israel. You fight the big, powerful people hurting the weak people.
Yes! Yes!
Yes, that is. I feel like that is like the most important message from the Holocaust. What oppressors do to oppressees.
But
that wasn't what happened to the Jewish people during the Holocaust. It was a tragedy, a travesty. Shouldn't have happened. But it wasn't unique. Mao killed millions. Stalin killed millions. All these people killed millions. Fucking there was genocides before World War I with the Armenian genocide and the Greeks and the Turks, and there was fucking genocides happening in the 80s and the 90s. Sarajevo, or is that how you say it? Sarajevo.
Yeah, Sarajevo.
Sarajevo. There's an article I just saw, from New York Post, so take that with a grain of salt. I need to look into it. But an Italian investigator through The Guardian is looking into people sniping for sport, like rich people paying to hunt people for sport with snipers during that crisis. Like, there was crisis after crisis and like things after things, and like the Holocaust, it was just so you could use the term recency bias, is something that's so recent and such an atrocity that it's like, that's wrong. That should not happen again to anybody.
She describes it is like we learned the wrong thing about the Holocaust, which is that the big nasty tyrannical government picking on the little fucking as she said, the little emaciated Jews. That's the lesson. Yeah, that's the lesson we were, as if that wasn't the lesson we were supposed to take from it. So what was the lesson we were supposed to take from
blacks,
it? Yeah. Well, no, she goes,
are seeing it as oppression towards them, and they're thinking, oh yeah,
well, she goes,
yeah, oh my God, dude.
Well, it's like, okay, so what was the lesson that we're supposed to take from the Holocaust? Because it sounds like, I'm not going to put words in her mouth, but what it sounds like to me is what you're saying is that what we were supposed to take from the Holocaust is that Israel's just allowed to do whatever the fuck it wants because Jews were treated so poorly at one point in history, or at multiple points in history. We know the history, and we don't think any of that was right either. But then she does this thing where she tries to shoehorn Al Jazeera and Nick Fuentes into the same space.
Oh yeah, we can't gatekeep the fucking information anymore. You had to go to weird bookstores to find these books, and it's like, no. I think it was Ryan Grimm. He goes, nah, in the 90s you could find Noam Chomsky at any normal bookstore.
Who, by the way, was also weirdly attached to Epstein, which is very concerning.
Oh, and then she's like talk about the intellectualism and talk about what everybody fucking hates about liberals always is the elitism and the intellectualist elitist persona, right? I give them all this data and these arguments and this facts and this information about the Israeli-Gaza thing.
And all they want to talk about is the carnage.
Because, it doesn't matter what stats and shit you give them. They're watching children get blown up, and they want you to stop it. You can give them whatever fucking data you want. It doesn't matter. Yeah, when I saw that, I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like, where is all the anti-Semitism coming from? I can't imagine how an undereducated, 18-year-old kid would look at a video of Sarah Horowitz giving the scientific data, and
I'm gonna give you the schematic.
Carnage of emaciated Palestinian kids, and deciding, I don't think I like what Israel's doing. And unfortunately, sometimes that morphs into legitimate anti-Semitism.
But why? It's because when you criticize the government, they say you're anti-Semitic.
Right. So you might as well just be anti-Semitic, right?
Right.
That's what they say I am.
Right.
Might as
And
well
then
do it.
everyone's like, why is this the only country that I'm not allowed to say anything about? All that shit that happened in Dearborn.
Oh, we're gonna get into that next.
If that happened in like a Jewish neighborhood and it wasn't about Muslims and it was about Jewish people, that'd be all over the fucking news.
Bell, go ahead. Bell, go ahead and pull that video up. So this is Jake Lang, who is hold on, let me pull up his little profile here. He is he calls himself a January 6th political prisoner, and he is running for, is it state Senate in Florida, or is he actually running for Florida's Senate seat?
You think he
U.S. Senate candidate for Florida.
You think he was gay for the stay in prison?
I never sucked any ding dongs.
I don't know, but this motherfucker decides, and I can call him motherfucker, and I can be pissed off about this, because this motherfucker decides to be a goddamn interloper and roll up goddamn I-75 to a suburb of Detroit that I actually care about, because Corey and I could hop in a car right now and be in downtown Dearborn in 20 minutes. And all he's doing is playing into the bullshit propaganda that Dearborn, Michigan is somehow overrun by Muslims, overrun by Arabs, and is invoking Sharia law. And he's pulling this goddamn white supremacist playbook of diluting the white race. Like, we've seen this game before. And honestly, his game is working, because we're sitting here talking about it. He's fucking trending on Twitter, and he doesn't know anything about what he's talking about, but he's utilizing it because he's a scared little boy, and he's trying to get all of the rest of the scared little boys, little white boys on his side, to make this look like something that it actually is not. Is there a heavy Muslim population in the city of Dearborn, Michigan?
Yeah,
yes.
Like the largest one outside of the Middle East.
That is correct. Is there a lot of Arabic writing on businesses in Dearborn, Michigan? Yep, a lot of that too. Lot of delicious Middle Eastern food. A lot of Arabic being spoken. You know what I've never experienced when walking through Dearborn?
Racism against you, I guess.
I've never experienced, like, I'm not supposed to be there. I've never experienced violence. I've seen women showing their skin walking down the streets of Dearborn. Yeah. This place that is it does kind of piss me off. It pisses me off that this town is so often used as some sort of bastion of Islamic takeover inside of the United States by people that have never set foot there, by people that have never even bothered to research the town. You even, because I don't want to do the whole Douglas Murray thing. Well, you've never been to Dearborn, you can't know anything about Dearborn. But like, it just basic research done on this place. It's a great town. I love Dearborn.
Yeah, and like, it's so fucking funny because like, on the main dragway in Dearborn, what is it? It's not
Michigan Avenue.
Yeah, is it Michigan Avenue? Yeah.
Yeah.
On the main dragway is where they're doing their little protest. It's like they're over here talking about, oh, Sharia law. And like in the background, you can see strip clubs.
Yep.
And then in the
nativity scenes.
Yeah, like you can also see nativity scenes at Christian churches. Like, it's Sharia law, dude. And then they're like, oh, look, they are violent. Look at them.
Very good.
Look at them trying to stop us from burning a Quran. It's like, I'd like to see any of you Christians out there stand idly by when, like, if a Muslim or a Jewish person or like,
or even another Christian or an atheist, better yet, an atheist
tried to burn the Bible in front of you.
Yeah. It's nonsense.
You know,
go ahead and roll the video.
Objects being lit on fire. The biggest snowflake about it was Trump with the American flag.
This fucking guy. He was talking in front of
looking to drag us back.
Dearborn City Council this morning.
Looking to oppress women. oppress homosexuals. They're looking to destroy everything that makes America great. President Trump, send ICE into Dearborn. These people have overstayed their visas. They're H-1B chain migration invaders, and they have come to this country to destroy our way of life. We know exactly your laws in your book about lying to our faces, pretending to be Americans, wearing your suits. But that doesn't happen anywhere else where you guys are in charge. There are 53 Muslim majority countries, and in all of them, it is tyranny, destruction. It is shithole living. We have to call it what it is. You guys don't live like we do. We don't want you in our country. We will come and eat your shawarma in Somalia, okay? We don't need it here in Michigan. We don't need it in any part of America. We have a right to self-determination. Our founding fathers fought and died for our posterity, for white Americans. Amen. And we're being driven out. You come here and you marry 4 or 5 women and you outbreed us. You change the laws. You make all of our country look like the places that you fled from. We don't want you here. Respectfully, get the fuck out of my country.
What happened?
And the people, the veterans, the World War II veterans, that's blood has soaked for our constitutional republic, are taking a look around Europe. They're taking a look around America, and they're saying, what the hell did we fight for? We have been taken over without a single shot fired. You guys are outbreeding insidious parasites on the American way of life. You will never look like us. You will never eat like us. You won't build buildings like us. You are nothing. You can build nothing. Just like President Trump's great American friends have said. You guys are not us, and get the fuck out. America first. America
Meanwhile,
only.
Trump is
God
having
bless America.
the Saudi prince in the White House.
Yep.
Jesus is king. 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 Let me grab my.
He's got his little fucking military vest on.
Jesus is king. Jesus is king.
Christ is king!
Your hands on me.
Jesus, who the fuck is that guy?
Jesus is king. Christ is king. Christ is king. America first. I live in Detroit. I'll be here tomorrow.
Now they're in the parking lot.
We're coming to make sure you Muslims don't take over.
What are you going to do?
What are your boss? 2 billion Muslims feel safe in America.
Go. Keep walking.
Your
Let's
threats
go.
don't
Keep
mean
walking.
anything.
Let's go. You're
We
done.
will
Let's go.
not surrender. We will not back down. This is what Muslim America wants us to do. They want us to cower. Christians, stand up, stand tall. America, across this country, rise up just like you did today in Dearborn. Injustice.
It's time to get power. What our founding fathers do.
You asked for an escort.
I'm not gonna go.
Dude, and it's crazy, right? Because it's like I see shit like that, and we always talk about on this show and make jokes about how we would never run for office, and it's like I don't have any bright ideas. I don't have anything like I think that is like revolutionary that I could bring to like help the people. But it's almost like you want to run to split the ticket so like these fuckers don't win because
it's that weird thing of like. Honestly, I think it kind of speaks to what a politician is, that a guy like this would run for office is obviously an extreme, but it's just, there's so much lowest common denominator bullshit that wants to become a goddamn politician.
Right. It's like, I can't do any worse.
And to your point that you had made before, Corey, I want to bring this up again. It's been pointed out by, I believe it was pointed out by, one of our favorite leftists, Blakely, had mentioned, why is this not being covered by anybody in what she called the racist media? I won't necessarily go that far, but what she called the racist media. Imagine if everything that he was saying was about Jewish people and not about Muslims.
Oh, it'd be all over the news.
But somehow we're being invaded and overrun by the impurities of whatever the Arabic people and Islam brings to our country. It's nonsense. Like this is literally just like what that guy spewed was white supremacist rhetoric. Like just absolute old school neo-Nazi drivel. That's all that was.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy is running for Congress in the state of Florida. And
It's
to
like,
the
what
point where he
fuck are you
goes,
doing up here?
because Dearborn's the place to be. Dearborn's the place to be if you want to shit on Muslims. It's the way
He's
that
gonna end up
it's the
catching
way
a
that
case though. He spray painted cuck on someone's bus. You know, yeah. So hopefully, like, fuck him.
And like this guy is what the fuck is his name again? Jake Lang. He's a scared little boy, which is all white supremacist rhetoric ever is, or any supremacist rhetoric. I don't care if you're talking about white supremacy, black supremacy, Jewish supremacy. It doesn't matter. It's all fear. You're scared. You're scared that, and in this guy's case, or in the white supremacist case, it's you're terrified that somehow you're going to be you're going to have your genes diluted, or whatever the hell the white supremacists used to like to say. Being afraid of I recently listened to an episode of Rogan where Daryl Davis was on, and Daryl was talking about how when he was fresh out of college, he had confronted a white supremacist that actually came and spoke at his school. He was the head of the American Nazi Party at the time, and was telling Daryl about how he was going to be, you're going to be sent to Africa. All the Jews are going to be sent back to Israel, and if you don't go, then you're going to be taken out in the impending race war. We're talking about how they were scared of. Daryl was talking about how they would always mention the year 2042, because was it 2042? Something, I think it's somewhere in that range, because that is the year that the white race was officially going to become a minority in the United States, and that was the year that they were so afraid of. And like it almost seems like this guy and others like him are back in that mold of, we're so terrified that
the great replacement.
Our white heritage is so diluted, when it's like if in 2042 or even before then, because I think we're actually on pace to beat that, to be honest, as far as like white people no longer being the majority, having less white people than we have all minorities combined. White people will still be the majority as it pertains to like a single race, right? But like I'm sorry, I don't care.
I don't either, because
I just don't care.
Even the white race, right? Like, fucking, I might have, like, other than English, don't really have much in common with a white person in the UK, or a white person in France, or a white person in Germany, or Russia, or Ukraine. We're definitely all very, very different people, even though we look similar. You know, like, and then you split down the hairs in even the like heritage of white. What's even considered white? Are we talking white today just because we all look the same? We talking white in the 1900s when they were painting Irish people as fucking monkeys in magazines and newspapers wearing a barrel. We talking about Italians. Italians were all of a sudden white after World War II. Before that, they were certainly looked at differently. Scots were looked at differently. Polish people were looked at differently. Like, there's a bunch of racist jokes about every single fucking white race. White people can't even agree on what white is, and yet we gotta have this fear of
didn't know she was black
being replaced. Like, I don't know, it doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Yep, that's that guy's running for Senate in the state of Florida. I'm sure he'll win. I'm sure he'll get the minority vote.
Yeah, he's probably gonna win because it's fucking Florida.
My God, honestly, like,
we have to keep a tab on that one.
This is something that I would normally let roll off my back, but there is something to having Dearborn, a place that, while I'm not from that town, it's Metro Detroit. I consider it part of my home. and having a cocksucker like this fucking asshole come and talk to a city council and grandstand about how important it is for them to leave so that we have a white America, because that's what he was saying. It it makes it a little bit more personal. I don't know if you feel the same way, Corey, but it makes it a little bit. If he had gone to like Milwaukee and done that, would I feel the same way? I don't know that I would. I mean, I would still think he was a fucking asshole, and I wouldn't support him, and I'd call him out on it. But I don't think it would feel quite as personal.
You want to hear his policy priorities?
Oh, fuck me. Do I?
Seal the border and stop the migrant invasion, which I thought
already
did.
Well, that's done. That's already been done. So we'll check done.
Carry out the largest deportation operation in American history. So he's gonna beat Obama.
Mm-hmm.
End inflation. End inflation and make America affordable again. That's
how you gonna do that?
That's I don't know, but that's priority number 3.
Socialist. He's gonna be a socialist. That's what it is. Socialism will solve it.
Make America the dominant energy producer in the world by far.
Okay.
Stop outsourcing and turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower.
Yeah, let's bring back shitty jobs. Okay.
Large tax cuts for workers and no tax on tips.
That's been done, I thought.
Now listen, there is no explanation of how.
Yes. Honestly, okay, so now you're talking me into something here, Corey. I want to see this fucking guy in a debate somewhere. I really want to see him, because I even think like a normie politician could school this guy in a debate. Like, I'd love to see him go up against like fucking Nancy Pelosi in a debate. And I can't stand Nancy Pelosi. I think she's an evil woman, but I would love to see her wipe the floor with an asshole like this.
There you go, Dan. Defend our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our fundamental freedoms, including freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to keep and bear arms, unless you're brown, I guess, in a state that you're not running in. Oh, here we go, Dan.
Who is he talking to?
Priority, and these are all in all caps, by the way.
Do you have a boomer help him write these?
Priority number 8. Prevent World War III. Restore peace in Europe and the Middle East and build a great Iron Dome missile defense shield over our entire country. All made in America. He's gonna prevent World War III, Dan.
You know what's so funny about that is like that policy platform is like the caricaturization of what I thought Marjorie Taylor Greene was.
And the weaponization of government against the American people. That's priority 9. Not one of the top 5.
Oh my God.
And then number 10 is number 10 to round it all up. Stop the migrant crime epidemic. Demolish the foreign drug cartels. Crush gang violence and lock up violent offenders.
I'm actually serious. Should we reach out to this guy and try to have him on the show?
We probably should. On the top of the page, it's 100% Trump America agenda.
I'll just play this a bunch of times while he's talking.
Shut up, bitch!
The news tab. I go to the news tab. It just says, no news yet. Check back later. With a picture of people on the January 6th Capitol fucking steps. Events. No events yet. Check back later. He must be running this himself.
There's got to be a phone number. We should privately dox him. I don't want to. I don't want to send his information out publicly, but I want to know his information.
I want him on the podcast.
We're taking a break next week. Well, Corey might do a show, but I'm going to be out of town. I'm taking a vacation. Fuck y'all. Nobody listens on Thanksgiving anyway. Not a bad idea. We should reach out to Jake. I'm sure he's a winner of an interview.
God.
I just can't wait to can't wait to pull up his policy stuff and just be like, so how are you going to lower inflation? As a fucking congressperson. What's the solution? How do we get this done?
Yeah. How do we end inflation? How do we not lower inflation, Dan? End inflation.
Is that what it said? Did it say end inflation?
End inflation and make America affordable again.
You know what though? That's not that much different than Donald Trump's 2016 platform. That's scary.
Oh God! Prevent World War III.
How you gonna do that? Tell us, Jake. He's gonna build an Iron Dome over America. Who's gonna build it? How's it gonna get paid for? Who are you gonna get the permits from? I shouldn't be getting out in front of this. I don't want him to know what our questions will be. I'm sure he's a listener. I'm sure he's a rabid listener.
Oh yeah, of Lip Service podcast. Oh man,
you got any more TikToks? I don't think I have anything else. Did we miss anything?
I have.
Oh God, we should ask Jake Lang how he feels about Arabic numerals.
He has them on his page. All right, so let's talk about Zohan already.
You just shut up, baby, because you hate America and you love abortion.
That's actual audio of Jake Lang.
It is. It sounded exactly like him. Like, how do you feel about homosexuality?
I never sucked any ding dongs.
He did say when he was talking to the Dearborn City Council that they're trying to weed out homosexuals. So it sounds like he might be pro-gay. Good for him. He's got that going for him. Anyway, go ahead.
You're gay!
I see our girl Blakely on the screen, and before you play this video, I just want to say this. I'm not going to give anything away that's in the video because actually I haven't seen it yet, but I know what it's about. I called this. What she's about to talk about, I predicted this live on this show. You can go back and listen.
As soon as Chuck Schumer and other establishment DNC people were campaigning with Zohan Mandani, you're like, he's co-opted. He's in the fold.
It's so predictable. And people like Blakely, and I like Blakely. I don't necessarily agree with her socialist stuff, but what she is she's a principled leftist. So I don't agree with her principles, but I like that she is principled, and I like her. And people like her were really, really excited about Zoran Mamdani, and I knew they shouldn't be, and here's why. Go ahead, Bill.
Let me talk about Hakeem Jeffries for a moment, who now may face a challenge from TOSA, who is a member of the DSA. You said that there are local issues that Mr. Osei should be focused on, maybe should remain a councilman. Are you saying he should not run against Hakeem Jeffries?
No, I'm saying that I think the focus should be right here on New York City. I respect the work that Councilman Osei has done.
What does that mean? Should he not run?
I think that right now is not the time to be engaging in that kind of a primary.
Let me just say before I respond to this nonsense that anybody who wants to come in here and go, I told you he was gonna, you can fuck off. Democrats sucking is not.
That's what I did.
I guess some of you guys think that's an own because you think it's binary. Like you either have to be outside of the electoral system or you have to constantly kiss the ass of Democrats. Anyway,
she just told me to fuck off.
Arguing with the people on the left about electoralism versus not. It's about this bullshit. This is fucking bullshit. What kind of horseshit is this? How come no one asked him why? Because this was the shit that AOC pulled the other day. Oh, it's not the time. Why? Why isn't it the time? Can either of you explain why it's not the time? Because you know what I think? Democrats love to tell people it's not the time. They love that. It wasn't the time to criticize anybody in the Democratic Party during Trump's first administration because we had to resist the administration. Then it wasn't the time to criticize the Democratic Party during the primary because we needed to consolidate to beat Trump. Then after Biden won it, wasn't the time to criticize them because he needed to get his agenda through, of which, of course, he didn't. Then it wasn't the time to criticize them because we needed to keep our powder dry so that he would work with the progressives, in which he, of course, did not. Then it was, oh, you can't criticize him because he's going to be running against Trump. And then he imploded on stage and everybody saw that he was like literally senile. So then they brought in Kamala and went, okay, but now you can't criticize the Democrats or her now because we have to beat Trump. This isn't the time. Okay, so what is the time? When is the time? It's almost like you guys are saying there is never a good time to participate in democracy. It's almost like you're saying that it's never a good time to criticize the Democratic Party. That line is not only such trash, because to say that it's not the time to participate in democracy is to say that you don't believe in democracy. You don't believe that people have the right to participate in democracy from the party of democracy. But the second thing is, actually, I can't think of a better time than now. Now is a great time, actually. Somebody get them on the record to explain why. Because their reasons for this are always bullshit. Stop letting people gaslight you into thinking that primaries are not a good thing. Even if Hakeem Jeffries kept his seat, it would sharpen him. The problem in the Democratic Party is that there isn't enough challenging. There isn't enough standing up to the establishment. There is way too much fucking reverence and like, oh, we've got to listen to the leadership and do everything they tell us to say. Fuck that. Fuck that. This is a time where people are feeling galvanized, and the same people that love to say, oh, we're going to take on the establishment, sound like they're trying to stamp it out.
Yeah, I mean, now she did basically tell me to fuck off at the beginning of that video, but I think she's a little upset because I was right. People like me were right that Zoran Mamdani was ultimately going to cuck out to the fucking establishment. It's what Bernie Sanders did. It's what AOC did. It's what
Hold that thought on AOC, Dan. Go ahead and roll this video, Bell.
Name your progressive. Yeah, boy.
See, this right here is why I did not fuck with her and Bernie Sanders fight the oligarchy tour that happened recently. When
good for you, Blakely.
All over it, because it's very easy to say fight the oligarchy, stand up to the establishment when it's vague and faceless and nameless. But then when somebody takes your advice and says, you know, I'm gonna.
She just find the AOC also saying this is not the time.
Wall Street and APAC. You go. Oh, did I say
Hakeem
fight
Jeffries.
the oligarchy? I didn't mean ours. Similar to what Bernie said when he was asked about
I didn't mean ours.
disastrous handling of the government shutdown. He's like, well, I'm not going to call for him to step down, but make sure you stand up to the establishment. Okay, so you guys want to tell people to stand up to the establishment, but then when they do in your own party, you're like, what? You didn't mean like that. Which is particularly galling because we all know that AOC has her seat because she challenged an incumbent in leadership. And remember, this is the same AOC that tried to gaslight all of us and tell us that Joe Biden was the best person to run for re-election, that he was fine. This is just the newest example of why I don't trust her. This shit was the nail in the coffin for trust. She and Bernie are hypocrites, but I already dealt with Bernie in the other video. She is a hypocrite because not only, as I said, did she get her seat in the first place by challenging an incumbent, but what I also need everybody to understand is that it's in moments like this that you realize how unserious they are about change. How all that, oh, stop oligarchy tour is bullshit and they don't mean it. Because when push comes to shove and somebody actually says, you know what, Hakeem Jeffries is really fucking corrupt, we should primary him, she swoops in to go, I don't think it's the right time. The same bullshit that they try to manipulate you with every single fucking election, whether it's the midterms or the general election, they constantly tell you, oh, it's not the right time. It's not the right time. No, it's always the right time to oust an AIPAC shill. Thank you.
I mean, dude, what can you say? She fucking drills it every time. She's a leftist. I don't agree with her politics, but she's principled and she knows the unbelievable corruption inside of the Democratic Party. And it's the same argument that I always have when I'm talking to these like vote blue no matter who people, and I go, why? And they go, just like what Blakely said.
Well,
the same thing.
You gotta stop the red.
You gotta stop Trump. You gotta stop the bad people from getting into office. And the Republicans used to pull this shit too. And that's actually really interesting because they still pull this shit, but you're starting to see that change that we talked about a little bit with Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene. We talked about J.D. Vance. Which direction is he going to go? Ultimately, when an election comes around in 2028, might J.D. Vance or whomever turns out to be the candidate for the Republican Party, right now it will be J.D. Vance. Will they ultimately pull the same thing about like we have to stop the Democrats at all costs? Or is the Republican Party, like we saw in 2024, slightly. I shouldn't even say the Republican Party, but
No,
just
I
like,
think it is. Like, I think a lot of the votes for Trump
are they slightly ahead?
Not a lot of the votes, but I bet you a large chunk of Trump's voter base was, we can't have Kamala Harris in there. We gotta make sure we don't get her in there. I know Trump says a lot of things, he's not the greatest guy, but you can't have Kamala Harris as president. You gotta vote for Trump.
Oh, there was a lot of libertarians that cast that Trump vote. Dave Smith himself,
Right.
I think, was one of those guys.
Oh, but hey. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said congressional Democrats will hold the Justice Department accountable to release the full and unredacted files on Jeffrey Epstein after Congress passed the bill mandating their release.
Okay.
So you thank God he's being tough, especially how well he handled that government shutdown. Got the Democrats put 40 million people on edge and freaking out like they weren't going to get money that they rely on from the government. Just to make sure that they didn't get anything in their compromise.
Thanks, Chuck
They
Schumer.
reopened the government.
What a hero. Such a hero, that Chuck Schumer. My goodness.
Well, I went to go stop that soundbite, but you changed the screen. Oh, I'm just going to keep playing, dude. Like, you can play something else.
Everything's computer.
Oh. Anyway, what do we got next?
I think that's it, bud.
Bell's got another screen up there.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, the government's open, in case anyone didn't know.
The government? The government?
Yeah, go ahead and play that one.
We opened up the government!
The DNC headquarters right now.
Mad about that.
Why?
We got nothing.
We always get nothing.
Fine. No, it's fine. We just need a way to get people back on our side.
IP is the hot thing right now. So could we get like an IP to run for president? Perfect.
Right.
That would be so good because then if we get everyone to think Republican, Decepticon.
People, did that leak that Trump sucked the Forrest Gump guy's dick?
I thought it was Bill Clinton.
People are saying it's Bill Clinton.
What? Kamala Hillary.
My bad. I fucked up. That's my fault. It doesn't matter.
Well,
we know.
I guess it doesn't matter.
We know where that was going. I gotta stop changing stuff in the middle of Bell's videos.
Yes.
Yeah, Democrats got nothing. We know that already. Anyway, what else? You got anything else? That's it? We're done?
That was my last one.
I'm ready to go on. I ruined it.
Shut up, bitch.
I don't know. I'm ready to go on vacation and stop dealing with all this nonsense. Why do you do this show, Dan? I don't know. I don't know why I keep showing up every week.
I don't know.
Couldn't tell you.
Come on now, you expect me to believe that?
For Bell the Bodysnatcher.
I never sucked any ding-dongs.
That's true. I've never sucked any ding-dongs. Thought about it, but never done it.
You're gay.
I set myself up for that one. For Bell the Bodysnatcher on the ones and twos, he as always has been Corey Walsh.
And he's Dan Griffin.
It's been Libservative Intellectual Idiots fostering political and cultural literacy and the world's smartest internet show. And until next time, we are out of here.
The great fundamental issue now before our people. We, the people, cannot turn back. Somebody must lead, or else the fight would not be made at all.